We have been playing Sepak Takraw for a while now, but what is Sepak Takraw? Sepak Takraw was created by the royal family of Malaysia about 500 years ago. The name itself comes from two languages. Sepak is kick in Malay, and Takraw is the ball in Thai. When it is born, it looked like Japanese kamari, and some became a circle, and the pole was kicked, and the number of times was being competed in. It looks very similar to the Japanese traditional game Kamari, where the players form a loose circle and the number of times the ball is kicked before it touches the ground is counted. In 1965, the game was unified into the present volleyball style, with the addition of a net and the adoption of international rules. The court and the net height and size are identical to those used in badminton, and each team has 3 players. The rules are very similar to those in volleyball, with the following 5 important exceptions. Use of hands is not permitted. Each player might touch the ball only once before it's kicked over the net. There's no rotation in the defense position. It becomes a score, or called net in, if the ball touches the net before falling into the companion court. In some cases, a player is allowed to touch the ball more than once, and up to 3 times. Faults. The inside player who's making service throws plays about with the ball, throwing up the ball, bumping, giving to other inside player, etc., after the call of score has been made by the referee. Another fault. The inside player lifts his feet or steps on the line or crosses over or touches the net while throwing the ball. The tikong jumps off the ground to execute the service. The tikong does not kick the ball on the service throw. The ball touches his own player before crossing over the opponent's court. The ball goes over the net but falls outside the court. The ball does not cross to the opponent's side. A player uses his hand or hands, or any other part of his arms to facilitate the execution of a kick, even if the hand or arm does not directly touch the ball, but it touches other objects or surfaces instead when doing so. Serving and receiving side during service, creating distracting manner or noise or shouting at his opponent. For both sides during the game, any player who touches the ball on the opponent's side, any part of player's body crosses into opponent's court, whether above or under the net, except during follow through of the ball. Playing the ball more than 3 times in succession, the ball touches the arm. Stopping or holding the ball under the arm, between the legs or body, any part of the body or player's outfit, example shoes, jersey, headband, etc., touches the net or the post or the referee's chair or falls into the opponent's side. The ball touches the ceiling, roof of the wall, or any objects. Sepak Takraw court is 13.4 meters in length and 6.1 meters in width. It has a service circle, a quarter circle, a net that's 1.52 meters high, and an outside line called the court boundary. This is my first familiar situation. As you can see, my friend Quentin serves the ball over the net. Hamad kicks it back. Quentin loses control over the ball by trying to header it. He should have probably used his legs to get more control over the ball and get a better shot. Now this is as I said, my first familiar situation, because the situation was that both teams were tied and it was the opponent's serve, so Hamad had to find a way to react so that he can get the point. When I interviewed them after filming them doing the situation, they told me that they were feeling very nervous at that certain moment, since this could depend on which team wins the point. Now I personally wanted to find out what it felt like, since I've already been in this familiar situation before, but maybe it could feel different and how my body reacts if I'm nervous or not under camera, or since we weren't playing with teams full of 3 since there was a lack of how many players were available. As Hamad being my opponent, he served the ball to me by kicking it over the net and letting it bounce once on the floor. Then I let it bounce once on the floor and then kicked it over back to him. He then headed it in, so I thought I could header it back in, but the ball was too low and I couldn't realize that until I already hit it with my head, thus making it hit the net and not go over. So next time I should have been more careful and had a faster reflex and maybe used my leg or knee or any other body part to kick it over. Ball to Hamad. Over the net it goes. He touches it once, twice, and on the 3rd time he kicks it over the net. Since the ball landed really close to my foot, I didn't have so much time to think about what I'm going to do next, and my reflexes were slow. Thus, I hit it with my head and didn't think about maybe turning around, so going back so I can hit it over with my foot. I chose this as my unfamiliar situation since we didn't use this rule when we were playing in class. And for the former one, I chose it as my familiar situation since I'm really used to it and I had it come up in many different matches, and I'm sure if any of other fellow students watch the video, they will also be able to relate. Another thing I could have done for the unfamiliar situation was, since I'm able to hit it 3 times instead of touching it only once and then passing over to a teammate and hitting over the net, I could I could have let it touched it 3 times in the air or twice in the air, and on the third time kicked it over, giving me more time to control the ball and think about my next decision on how to score net in on the opponent. Thank you for your time. I hope you like the video, and yes, bye. Have a good day.